welcome to a special In Memoriam episode of
Brutal Battle.
Yeah, so usually when we're doing these episodes, it's happy. This is kind of sad, and hopefully we don't do a whole lot of these types of episodes, but it's a very real thing that breweries end up closing, and one that we had visited a few years ago when we went and visited listeners Kyle and Kelli Norman has closed, and it was Race Street. So if you go back, we did an episode where we talked about our excursion to go out and see them, and we talked about Race Street and how we really liked it, and Kyle let me know that it was closing, and they went about a week before it closed its doors and had some beer, and they picked up a few beers for us, so we're going to drink those beers and just kind of talk about Race Street. And like the episode's called, this is kind of an in memoriam to Race Street. I mean, obviously we only went there once, but we had a really good time, and it just sucks to see a good, cool brewery go under.
Yeah.
And we don't know why. Like, that's another thing. We don't have the details on why it stopped. I don't know if it was because, they didn't have enough business, or they just decided they didn't want to do it anymore, or whatever, but it's just the fact that it's closing its doors, or did already at this point, on the December 21st of 2019. So we have 3 beers in front of us, thanks to Kyle and Kelli Norman, and they're blank cans, so I don't know what the beers are, so this will probably be one of our best, blind episodes, because we're not really even going to know what the beers are. We might be able to figure out after the fact.
Oh, we have no idea how. We can't find out.
Maybe we can. I mean, because I can look at their website after we've tried the beers and try and figure out of what's on there, what does it seem like we tasted, but no guarantees, because I don't even know if that's what was in the can, so, I mean, we might just be tasting beers and we'll just tell you what we think it is, in essence. So.
And Kyle didn't tell you either.
No, so he gave me, one of those 4-packs, 4-pack holders, and then 2 other cans, and it was one word was written on the top of each of the slots for the cans, and so 2 of them said Goza, so I know one of these is going to be a Goza. I don't know which one. I don't know if it's going to have fruit or whatever, or if it's just a straight up Goza, but
that's all you know.
We know there's a Goza in here somewhere, that style.
Okay.
The other one said Brain, and there was nothing for the last 2 because they weren't in the holder. So total mystery on the last 2. The second one, I don't know what Brain means.
Does he know though? I mean, he bought them. We didn't even ask him.
I texted him to ask, and I was like, it's 3 different ones, and he was like, yeah, the Goza, Brain, and some other one I don't remember. So
okay, well,
we might not be able to figure it out, and that's fine.
Yeah, okay.
Because
let's get to drinking.
So this is what they had available at the end.
Okay.
So let's crack the first one. This one goes out to Race Street. These are 16-ounce cans, too. Ooh. So I don't even know if it's going to be, good tasting order that we drink it in. I don't know. What do we have first? It looks like it could be an IPA.
Yeah. Oh, you're dripping.
I am dripping. Why am I dripping? I'm making a mess. Yeah. It's not going well for me. I'm doing very poor with my pouring today. Pouring.
Okay. So
it's very orange.
Yeah, orange, pretty clear.
Yeah.
It definitely looks like it could be an IPA. It's very, very clear, though.
Yeah, it's really clear. It's got some bubbles on the top. It's kind of a mix of medium and large bubbles sitting on the top, but not a ton. It's not much head.
I don't think it's an IPA.
Ooh, it smells sour. It smells a little vinegary,
too,
which is interesting.
I
gotta wipe my hands off. I got beer all over my hands for my very messy
kind of
pour.
like a pear, peach, apricot.
Okay, I can see that. I get some apple, but it's not like a acetaldehyde type apple. It's just this is a little bit of apple in the nose, but it's like a vinegary / lemon sourness.
Yeah,
like a mix of the 2.
But I don't like the smell.
Yeah, it starts to smell a little bit acetone-like.
Yeah,
which
smells like something you should not consume.
But I will say, there have been beers before that I've smelled that have that kind of strong smell, very vinegary, very acetone-y, and I ended up liking the flavor of them. Yeah. So
We'll
I
see.
don't know. We will find out. All right, let's go. So the sourness is not as much as I would assume it was going to be based on the
Very
nose.
honey. Lots of honey.
There's a lot of cereal.
I would say lots of honey and lots of Naked Cheerio cereal.
Yeah, but the Naked Cheerio, like normally with sours, I get it just on the end. It's kind of like throughout. So you probably
is
like
this?
that.
It tastes a lot better than I thought it was going to.
Okay. So I'm going to have these in order as we open the cans. So afterwards I can try to look on the website and maybe see if we can figure out what they are. So I can refer to them as the first beer, the second beer, the third beer. So, yeah, it's very Naked Cheerio. It's very, very grainy, but then it has that like lemon tartness, but it's kind of a low tartness, especially in comparison to what the nose was.
Yeah.
So very surprising. I do feel like I get a little bit of that apple on the end that I was smelling.
There's also a little, did you say like floral?
I did not, but I agree with that.
I think there's some.
Slightly floral.
Yeah. I don't know what to make of this. And that's one thing I do remember when we were there is they had very interesting beers.
Wasn't one of them like some sort of like Thai porter or something? What?
Well, I wanted water.
Oh yeah.
That's why I was.
Sorry to people if you hear music in the background. Some nice
Piano.
piano accompaniment from our neighbors.
Yes, I think there was a Thai port. I mean, well, you can look up to see. You have your phone on you? See what we had when we were there?
Oh, that's true. I can just do yeah, I can do that. Well, first of all, let me tell you that the people who had started Ray Street and ran it for 5 years before they closed the doors were Bob Stryker and Steph Rice, and they were a married couple. I believe we met Steph Rice when
She
we
did our
were
food.
there. Yeah, she was the one who made our food. And they had like nice bites to eat.
Yeah.
It was like, like small things that breweries will usually do as opposed to doing like full-on meals because that's such a hassle.
Yeah, but it was definitely, I mean, we loved it, but it was definitely more upscale small bites.
Right. And the brewery was situated in Clearfield, Pennsylvania, so it's kind of like podunk type area.
Okay,
so it is kind of podunk. I'm not saying that there's any bad connotation. I don't want people to take it that way. I'm just saying that it's not in a big city or
not
near
a
a big city.
metropolitan
Right.
by any means.
It's not. But I remember talking to them and they said that when they built the brewery, they wanted it to kind of have like a Philadelphia feel.
Because they were from Philadelphia, right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
And it kind of did. It was kind of like hipster-ish.
Yeah.
So.
And we did, and I think Kyle and Kelli would agree to this too. It's like, not sure if their style and food represented
meshed with the area.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah, I don't know. So here's what I see. We had Thai tea porter.
Yes, that was
is
good.
on
I
there.
remember that.
A Torpedo Imperial IPA. Chowda, which was their New England style IPA. They had a Farmhouse Ale, which I think it was like wine barrel aged. They had a Tart Triple sour beer. Hop Hash Brownie, which was a brown ale. Saint Camille Belgian Wit, which obviously is a wit beer. Nefarious Purposes, which was a black IPA, which people aren't really doing black IPAs, and I like a nice one. And then there was Summer in Sapporo, which was a Saison. Conrad Imperial Russian Stout aged in rye bourbon barrels. And Vexed, which was a sour ale. And then Jenny C, which was a cream ale.
Oh, yeah.
And we took that to Bob. Oh, and their Milk Moustache with coconut, which was a milk stout with coconut.
Yeah.
So that was it. That's what we had when we were there. So, but I remember having a really good time. It is sad. It is always sad when these breweries shut their door. But
Yeah.
all right, let's. This may end up being a relatively short episode because we're not going to give you all the backstory on the brewery like it's a showcase because there's not really a reason to do a showcase since they're done. So let's go to the second beer.
Number 2.
All right. Let's see what this one is.
And we talked about this probably in the last episode when we went there, but they were situated in an old
industrial building. It's like a manufacturing building or something. Or like a warehouse, maybe.
But they had the big sink.
Yeah, in the bathrooms.
Large communal sink. That was interesting.
Yeah, they're like cylinders, basically, and like the water just kind of comes out of everywhere like a fountain to wash your hands.
Yeah, but when you walked back to actually where the kind of where you could drink and eat, and there were all these like lockers.
Yeah,
like,
and you could purchase a locker to have as like a member of their club. So... yeah, I see you already smelled the beer. I got a sniff of it, and I was like, I think Rebecca's going to like the nose on this. It's spices.
Yeah, it's kind of pumpkin-esque.
Ooh, it smells a little like Applejack cereal with cinnamon to me.
I'm definitely getting cinnamon.
Yeah, it's very cinnamony.
Cinnamon, nutmeg.
Yeah.
There could be some ginger.
Brown sugar.
Clove.
Yeah, all the nice spices plus brown sugar, I think.
Yeah. Did you say apple?
Yeah, that's a little bit of apple. Yeah. It reminds me a little bit when I was growing up, my mom would make this kind of dessert with our dinner she would cut apples in half and put brown sugar and some spices on it with marshmallows in the middle and then bake it. So it's kind of reminds me of that a little bit.
Why doesn't she still do that?
I don't know. It's been a long time.
I would eat that.
But I bet you like the smell of spices in this, don't you?
I think it smells good.
I can't figure out what the style might be based on the nose.
Yeah.
I'm just like, ale.
Right.
But you might be right. Maybe some sort of like spiced pumpkin beer or like pumpkin pie or, whatever. It's sour. Whoa. That tastes good, though.
It's not overly sour. It's just kind of like tart. I like this a lot. The
spices are good.
There could be some lactose in here. It's very creamy.
It is. It's very, very smooth, especially it's kind of like a medium low tartness on there. Mm-hmm. It's more tart than the first one, but it's not crazy.
I think this is like an apple pie ale.
Yeah, that is what it tastes like.
It's like the apple in it is like a tart Granny Smith. Mm-hmm. So it's not really a sour. It's more of like a tart, and I don't know. I like it.
Yeah, the spices in there are good. You definitely get the cinnamon and nutmeg.
And the creaminess reminds me of the dessert, like you're talking about, the marshmallow.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah, I was saying it smells like that. It kind of tastes like that.
Yeah,
it definitely does. It's a nice... I like this.
I'm definitely getting like... I'm like brown sugar crumble, like oatmeal crumble.
Yeah, big time.
It could be like... It's like an apple crisp type.
Yes, that's actually probably the best way to put it. I would totally agree with that. This is like an apple crisp beer.
But with Granny Smith apples.
Sure, yeah.
I like this a lot.
And it's interesting because like the spices and that kind of like brown sugar linger a little bit in my mouth. Mm-hmm. And it almost comes off a little like granola to me too.
Well, I keep thinking of oatmeal. Mm-hmm. Like the oatmeal crumb topping on, an apple crisp.
This is good.
Yeah, it is
good. I
good.
like this.
And it's like desserty, but not overly sweet because whatever we think is the apple has enough tartness and acidity to kind of balance it out.
Yeah. Definitely. That's good. I definitely like it more than the first one.
Oh.
The first one's fine. This one's good.
Yeah, this one's delicious.
All right. And, just to talk a little bit.
I don't really like the first one.
Oh, I thought you would because of how much of that Cheerio.
Yeah, it's just... I feel like in my older age, I'm just getting more picky. Because I'm like...
Well, that's natural.
Well, and also there's just so many good beers out there.
Yeah.
I'm like, I'm not...
True.
Why am I settling?
Yeah, so... so in the beginning I said hopefully we're not going to do a whole lot of these, but... I will say we will do these in memoriam episodes if a brewery we liked ends up closing. Fingers crossed that doesn't really happen. And we can get a hold of some beers at the end,
It'll be kind of hard.
So, yeah. I mean, we're not going to try and do like every brewery near us that closes because there are going to be ones we don't really care about that much because we didn't like the beer in the first place. So,
We haven't... Do we know? I don't really can't think of any off the top of my head.
breweries you wouldn't care if they closed?
No, breweries that have closed.
House Cat out in Frederick, Maryland, had closed a year or two ago, I think. Yeah. They weren't even open that long before they closed.
I don't even think I even had anything.
I hear about breweries closing here and there, but it's not a lot. And like you said, it's not been a lot near us. So the other thing is the craft beer market kind of runs some years behind on the East Coast, or at least in Maryland where we are. So I would think that with breweries kind of shutting their doors, it might start more on the West Coast and then make its way to the East Coast eventually, because there are a lot of breweries that have popped up and the market is becoming oversaturated, and there are more breweries opening up.
Yeah,
we're getting another one in our county, and I'm already rolling my eyes. Don't need it.
Did that open?
It's called Double Groove Brewing in January 2020.
In Jarrettsville?
No, in Forest Hill,
Forest Hill,
Maryland. Okay. So,
I mean,
we'll check it out.
Yeah,
hopefully it's great, but at the same time, like, we experience this, and I think a lot of other people are starting to experience this. You're getting brewery fatigue. Like, I think we went through the phase where people are all like, I need new breweries, I need new beers, and I think we're going to start it within the next few years, maybe within the next 2 years, really starting to settle into, well, now I feel like I just want to go with a few breweries that I really know and trust. And I think that's why, lagers are starting to have a little bit more of a comeback, because people are kind of stepping away from, what crazy stuff can we bring? Right. There's still a component of that, but I think that's settling down. So,
Well, I mean, we kind of went through that when we were just out. I wanted to have just an everyday porter or stout to have on deck in the fridge, and we're like, oh, we could try this. And then we're like, let's just get something from Union, from Baltimore, because we
trust them.
And there hasn't been like a beer we've been like, that's bad. It's just.
Yeah. I mean, there are just certain breweries at this point that I see their stuff and I'm like, I feel comfortable that even though I haven't had that beer, I can pick it up and know that it'll be quality. Someone like a Sierra Nevada, Trogs, Union. I feel like for the most part, Dogfish Head, although there are some of their beers that aren't really my thing.
Yeah, it's right. I don't think I've had a bad beer. I've just had some weird shit that I'm like, I don't need to have that again.
I agree. Yes, I agree with that. But someone like Union,
right?
Like, they do a lot of their beers are very clean typically. So when you know what it's called and what it is, like, you can guess about what it's going to taste like. So, like you're saying, like, they were one of those breweries. I've never had a bad beer by them. Every single beer I've had by them, I've been like good or really good. Yeah. And that's it. So, yeah, I'll reach for them. But
okay, last one.
Let's do this last beer. I hope it's dark. It'd be nice to like mix it up with some dark beer, but just happy to have it.
Nope.
It is not. There's another light one. But who knows what the flavors will be like.
Right.
You don't know. Oh, you still have water in there. I'll plug it. You can't be diluting this stuff.
Sorry.
This is the last. This is the end. Well, actually, we have one can more of each of these beers. He gave us 2 of each, so. It looks very orange.
Clear
it looks very clear.
They all kind of look pretty similar. Oh, no.
Smells very weird.
Oh, damn it. They all smell weird.
It smells a little like sour cream, to be honest. Does it not smell like kind of like sour cream to you?
My initial thought was cream cheese.
Okay. Kind of close. Yeah, sour cream cheese.
Because I think there's some sweetness in it.
There is sweetness. There's a little sourness. There's like a lemon note, but it doesn't smell like it's necessarily a sour beer.
No, I was going to say orange.
Key lime? Is this supposed to be a key lime pie beer?
Okay.
It kind of smells like a key lime pie beer, maybe.
Okay.
That
makes it not as weird.
Because that like meringue, like that like creaminess to it.
Yeah, which is where we're getting that kind of like dairy.
Actually, if you think key lime pie and smell this, it smells like dead on.
Yeah.
It's just a weird thing to smell, not knowing what you're getting into. So.
Yeah, there's definitely some sort of citrus. I mean, now that you're brainwashing me with lime, I'm like, yeah, okay. Uh-oh.
And it tastes totally different, though. It tastes really different, though. Am I right?
It's very creamy.
It is very creamy.
It has a real creamy mouthfeel. I like it.
There's a little bit of a floral note on the finish to it that's almost slightly lavender, which usually I'm very big on not liking things like lavender, but it's not bothering me too much since it's very, very slight.
It's very light.
Yeah.
In flavor.
Yeah. It tastes like it might be a cream ale.
I was just going to say, I think it's a cream ale.
It's smooth. It's smooth and it's creamy. It's very nice and creamy.
Mm-hmm. There definitely could be lactose in here.
Yeah, there might. Yeah, or it's just a cream ale, and it's But it's I mean, I could see it being that kind of key lime pie, but like the very low level on those flavors. Like the nose, it's very strong. The flavor, it's way, way, way lower than the nose.
I feel like it could be orange creamsicle type thing too.
I like this. Mm-hmm. Like it's got light flavor, but it's also really easy to drink.
And I love the mouthfeel. Yeah,
the mouthfeel is excellent.
Like, and like the creamy kind of good, I like the body.
It also finishes crisp.
Yeah.
Which is a nice finish. Because it's kind of like at the end of each sip, it like resets your palate to go ahead and go in fresh on another one.
It's weird.
And I like that about it. This is my favorite one of these three.
Oh, okay.
Definitely. That's cool. That's nice. I like that.
Okay.
I'm actually going to try and see if I can
I'm going to figure out
what these are. But let me read real quick the statement that they had on their website for closing. If you haven't heard, Race Street will close its doors to the restaurant and tap room after 12/21/2019. We will be announcing days and hours for customers to pick up cans and bottles in the coming weeks. That's cool. As we undo all that we have done for the past 5 years. That's a sad sentence. A big thank you to all of our friends and fans. Hope to see you during our last week. Peace.
Aww.
Yeah. That's some sad stuff, man.
Ugh.
That's so sad.
Ugh.
All right.
I feel like I'm going to cry. Is that normal? Why am I having this reaction?
Okay. I think this is what this one was. Maple Goza. I think that's what number one was supposed to be.
A maple goza?
Yeah, what did we say that was?
I don't know.
It's...
hit me up again.
Hit you up again on that one? Okay.
Yeah.
I'll give you some.
Okay.
Yeah, tell me if that tastes like a maple goza to you. Yeah, maple, apparently.
Mm.
I'm trying to see if I can figure out any of the rest of this, but I don't think I can.
Okay, I guess I could see that.
Yes?
Yeah, sure.
You see it with the...
I could see it.
Okay.
I mean, I don't...
Actually, I'm going to see if I can look them up on Untapped.
Well, what was the brain beer?
Yeah, I don't know. That's what I'm looking for. Brainwash, a Brettanomyces saison that's soured. A sour saison with Brettanomyces. That would make sense.
For which one? The first
one?
one?
The second one. The one that was like a key lime we were seeing.
That's the third one.
Oh, yeah, never mind. The second one was the one... Oh. Yeah,
No.
Which one is that? I don't know. I guess maybe that's not what it was then. I can't figure this out. Plus, when I'm looking at like what the beers are, I just can't even tell what that necessarily means. There was a cider that they had called Phantom Limb. That might have been one of them.
Cider.
Yeah, I don't know. Sorry, we can't really provide any answers on this one. But what I do know is we're not huge on the first one. We did like the second one, and we quite liked the third one.
I like the second one more. You like the third one more.
Yes, correct. Yeah, that's the thing. So so I would be the reverse order for my rankings. Would be number 1 is 3, 2, then 1, and you would be number 1 is 2, 3, then 1.
Yep.
Yeah, got it. Okay. So, in summation, I think we're going to kind of end it. It's sad, but just know, people, this is going to happen, especially as we keep getting more and more breweries. Eventually, the market's not going to be able to bear it. Like we said, we don't know why Race Street necessarily closed, but it just reminds us that there is a time coming where breweries will be closing more often. I can pretty much guarantee that. And I don't want it to happen, but it's going to happen, unfortunately. So,
what a Debbie Downer.
I know. Well, like I said, when we started this, it's usually very positive on the podcast, but this is a downer. Like, it's kind of sad.
Depressed.
Well, I mean, the next episode we do will be happy. And most of them after that. Pretty much all of them. So, yeah. You got to have a downer here and there.
Well, on that note...
Thank you, everyone, for checking this out. Thank you, Kelly and Kyle Norman, for getting us these beers. That is much appreciated. Thank you, Bob Stryker and Steph Rice, for doing what you did for 5 years. It is admirable. There are a lot of people who don't even do breweries, who have the idea and they don't follow through. So at least you lived the dream for 5 years. And we tip our hats to you, and we toast your beers to you.
Cheers.
So until next time,
keep it brutal.
I feel so